Velveteen Dream has been accused of secretly filming WWE talent. Elsewhere, a major NXT name was written off at Worlds Collide, and a surprising offer has apparently come in for Bray Wyatt. More on that in a little while. Yes, hello, Jack and Adam back with more news. Quite dark news to start off with, really. As in an interview with Sportskeeda, EC3 has talked about a bizarre kind of incident involving Patrick Clark Jr., otherwise known as former WWE superstar Velveteen Dream. Obviously, it goes without saying that Velveteen Dream was released a while ago now, in the midst of all kinds of allegations and that sort of stuff. But this will only add to that, and if it's true, it's obviously quite a disturbing one.
So during this interview, he disclosed, so he said he got arrested again. When's he going to get rehired? Probably not, if that's on his record. Plus, he has a lot of demons in the closet. Oh, what do you mean? I'm glad you asked. Why not? Because in NXT, there was always some speculation about him being a little off. But you welcome that. You can be friends. And then he continued, we had a party and it was at my place and he came over because I'm being friendly and I'm top guy. And I tried to welcome everybody into the thing. He left his phone in my bathroom with the camera on, trying to capture people urinating. So there. How did I know? Because it's my bathroom. When I walk in there and I see a phone selfie style propped up filming, where if somebody's going to take a pee, they would have their out urinating into the water. And he just continued, I'm not going to lie to you, this was a late evening of partying, so maybe there were a few cocktails shared. Who knows what everyone else was on? As we know, if he'll do it in front of a cop who was, I guess, present at the party, Lord only knows what he will do behind a cop's back.
I think that's a reference to his recent arrest. Apparently, he might have taken a substance in front of the police.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, my God.
He just invited the police in. There was a guy at the party.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. So it's a very late night.
Obviously, when all the allegations about Velveteen Dream came out, I remember it was reported that separately from them even, there were reports of heat from him backstage even before all that came out, with people thinking, well, we're not getting on with him, and it was never really explained why. Sean Ross Sapp then said recently, when this EC3 interview happened with Sportskeeda, that he heard this story off the record some time ago, but hadn't yet got anybody to kind of clarify it happened on the record. So that kind of means, I guess, that it'd been known for a while in certain circles, but obviously people don't want to put their neck on the line and actually say it. But EC3 just
for sure.
I mean, fair enough. It was his pie and everything.
That's it. It's word for word from EC3. This is what he's saying. This is what he is alleging. It was recently mentioned in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Patrick Clark is one name that they say will never go back to WWE. There's been no discussion
so
about
much
it.
Stuff now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated on that. Pretty grim stuff. Obviously, we don't need to tell you how awful that is if true. There you go. Worlds Collide. What do you think?
I thought it was very fun.
Yeah, it was. It felt like an NXT takeover of old, didn't it?
Did.
There was a shade of that in there.
The action was all, you all right there?
I'm fine, yeah. Our work hurt.
The action was all very exciting. There weren't that many matches, only 5, I think, and they all meant something. Obviously, fans of NXT UK will be devastated because they didn't have the best showing in terms of results.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore. There are no fans
But anymore. I thought the action was pretty good. One wrestler not in a match on the card seems to have maybe been written off NXT TV for a while.
Yeah.
Because we got a kind of a backstage or in the car park in the notorious NXT parking lot where everyone gets beaten down. We saw that Roderick Strong had been ambushed and was covered in blood and everything and loaded into an ambulance. 2 members of the Diamond Mine, I think Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley may have gone with him, leaving the rest of the Diamond Mine, the Creed brothers and Damon Kemp, to fend for themselves. The Creed brothers were taking part in that 4-team tag team match for the unified NXT and NXT UK titles. They ended up not winning that match. And there's been tensions in the Diamond Mine for a while. If you follow Cultaholic's official show of the half-year NXT 2.0, because Matthew and Ross voted for it and I didn't, you'll know there's been tensions in the Diamond Mine because they don't trust Roddy Strong.
Yeah.
Recently on TV this week, Roddy Strong came to the ring with his phone out and said, no, I've got footage that clears me of whatever suspicion. And they were like, I don't care. Damon Kemp came along, smashed the phone. We'll get to that later on, why he might have done that. But Roddy Strong appears to maybe, have been written out. Could he have been, is it maybe to recover from an injury? Is he taking time off?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I feel like Diamond Mine hasn't been all that, and Roddy deserves a little better. Maybe a call-up is in it. I'd really like to see him on the main roster, do something proper with him.
I agree with you on what partly, but I think the Creed brothers are money.
The Creed brothers are amazing. The Creed brothers are class, but the Diamond Mine as a faction, and it's not been all that. Anyway, one of them's a nasty bastard.
Yes, it is Damon Kemp. who turned heel during the event, turning on his own team, hitting one of them with a chair, and ultimately costing them that match, which Pretty Deadly ended up winning, and I love Pretty Deadly, so I'm glad that they won that.
Yeah, Pretty Deadly are great. It was a bit of a shocker still, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I thought Gallus would win because they'd been presented really strong since they came in.
Yep.
But no.
Glad they didn't.
Yeah, well, Pretty Deadly won. There was a standoff between them backstage on a recent NXT where Gallus are being really tough men backstage, go like, come on then. And Pretty Deadly go, ooh, big scary boys. I just love them so much. They won the match. Damon Kemp has turned heel. I guess the Diamond Mine still exists with the Creeds and Ivan Island taking Paxley there. Roddy Strong, I think it was reported at some stage, is apparently maybe injured, so that might have written him off. I guess the implication is that Damon Kemp was the one who beat him up in the car park, although that's not being confirmed yet in storyline. And I guess that explains why he was the one to try and smash Roddy's phone and destroy sort of evidence, if Roddy had evidence that Kemp was the issue in the stable, I suppose.
It's a rough old time for people who have been in Undisputed Era right now, isn't it?
Yes, it really is.
Not going great.
Yeah. Heel turns as well at All Out too.
Yeah.
We mentioned in our previous news video that Luchasaurus turned heel after turning heel and face and now heel again. He was always in Christian's pocket, it turns out.
Yeah.
Pac turned heel too.
Yeah.
Well, you're laughing how seriously I'm taking this. He was always in
good.
Christian's pocket. I feel like Excalibur. And Pac turned heel as well. On the pre-show, he beat Kip Sabian in a match where genuinely, right, you're going to laugh at this, but you know how the story of it was like Kip's like getting in Pac's head and he's outfoxing him and he distracted him by wiggling his fingers at one point and then headbutting him. And there was a bit where they rolled out the ring, right? And Pac was like, they were talking on commentary about how he's breathing heavily and he's like going like, oh. I thought that Kip had like covered himself in some sort of poison powder and it was affecting Pac. I was like, lads, he's poisoned him.
Like a Papa Shango thing, sort of. I mean, it's better than his current gimmick, to be
I don't understand what the
No,
gimmick is.
nor do I. feel sorry for him. He's just come back and
Seems
he's
a bit
lost
Al
on the
Snow
pre-show.
at the end. He was shouting at the cardboard box going, why, you didn't tell me what to do.
Oh, Al Snow was really entertaining.
I'll keep saying
No, I like Kip.
But
He doesn't
yeah,
like me.
that wasn't the Pac heel turn, although for some reason the crowd were cheering Kip in that match and booing Pac. After the match, Orange Cassidy came out to confront Pac, implying that he wants a shot at the All-Atlantic Championship. But Pac went, you're a joke. No, I've already beaten you once. Get to the back of the line. Everyone booed that because they love Orange Cassidy. Later on backstage, we got that backstage promo or backstage interview segment where, again, Pac kind of brushed him off. And it seems, and also in that bit on the stage, Pac walked down the heel tunnel as well.
Yes.
But he's still lined with, you know, the Lucha Bros, who I guess are still faces. They're still getting cheered and stuff.
Presented tonight, so anyway.
Yeah. So Pac turned heel. Fraser seems to think that Swerve Strickland's turned definitively heel as well, although I think just the seeds have been sown.
He was nasty. He was doing that at the end. Keith was nice at the end, and Swerve wasn't. I agree. There was a bit of miscommunication in the match. And teasers of maybe something going on there.
Potentially.
Acclaim should have won.
I've seen people tweeting saying that they should have called an audible and gone, just let them win. But they're so popular, and I'm just sad that they didn't.
Yeah, they're great. They're really, really great.
Also, a surprising offer has been made for Bray Wyatt, according to Fightful Select. He has apparently received a serious offer from a startup wrestling company, and it's been heavily implied to Fightful that company would be the one that Freddie Prinze Jr. has been teasing setting up or implying that he's going to set up.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I think he's got a really good mind for wrestling. I listened to the odd interview with him, and he certainly knows his stuff. And I'm quite optimistic.
He used to be on creative in WWE back in the
right,
day. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see where it goes. I mean, you're going to need a lot of money for Bray, so I don't know where his investment's coming from, or if he's got the cash himself.
He probably does.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, there's probably interest in Bray Wyatt from multiple sources. Fightful have also noted here that there is at least some interest in him from AEW. Triple H has been very complimentary about him recently, publicly as well.
Yeah, calling him like a creative mastermind, creative genius sort of thing. So I think he's WWE bound. There's been some interesting teasers on Twitter from former Wyatt family members as well. Braun is believed to be back tonight now.
Yes.
I'd love to see it. It'll be weird, obviously, without Brody. But if they could bring back Wyatt, if they could bring back Rowan, if they could bring back Braun for a sort of Wyatt family 2.0, because Rowan has been teasing stuff as well. They're all doing the cryptic bollocks on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're all doing a break.
I think they'd have to be faces, if they did that. At least at
that's fine.
first. Yeah, absolutely. He's someone, him and Braun, to be fair as well, although you could argue that, Bray's more accomplished in the ring and more creative, but they both were really unique. They occupy, no one else can do what they respectively do.
Nope.
So when they got released, I was like, that's two really weird people to be releasing. And then it turned out there's all kinds of reasons going into it. But they're two that I'd happily see back, especially Bray.
Oh, I'd love to see him back. A reunion of the Wyatt family who win would be really nice.
If he went to AEW, do you think he'd fall into the same trap as maybe people like Malachi Black, where there's just so many people now presented as top stars that none of them have a chance to be particularly special?
I think perhaps so. I think it's one of AEW's real sort of weak points, is the fact that there is too much going on. There are too many people on the roster, and that's why we get pay-per-views of this length. And it's just confusing stuff.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much for watching this news video. Do leave your thoughts and opinions on any of these stories in the comment section down below. If you missed our earlier one, check that out as well on the channel. And stay tuned for Ross will be back with WTF Moments.
Tomorrow.
Big shows we've seen tomorrow. And all sorts of content coming out as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon.